So what makes a department unique? I think the obvious answer would be, world-class, social science institution, the quality of our research, our location in London, one of the world's great cities. But for me, honestly, it's the students. We have such amazing students on the Global Masters in Management, which I'm the Programme Director for. We run regular student panels where we bring back our old students and they come and they talk to our new students. And the generosity that our previous students give to the current students never ceases to amaze me. And it becomes like, each new generation helps out the next generation of GMiM students, and it's a joy to watch. They're a joy to teach, and it's like being part of a club, honestly. One answer to that question would be to say that we give you all the normal, business school courses that you would get at any good business school, so accounting, finance, organisational behaviour, strategy, and we do all that obviously. But what I think the management department is really doing is educating your unconscious. Big ideas, interesting ideas come from the unconscious, and that's true in art, it's true in science, and it's true in management. But your unconscious has to be educated. So in your time at LSE, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to stuff your mind with ideas and models and patterns and examples, and then you can unhook your conscious mind, and when you're having a walk, having a bath, having a big glass of wine or a chat with your friend, at some point some idea is going to bubble up from your unconscious, but you have to have an educated unconscious. The Department of Management has some really amazing partnerships with other business schools. So to give you one example, we're part of the SEMS Alliance. So the SEMS is an alliance of 33 of the leading global business schools that together do a Masters in Management. The LSE is the only UK member school, and so some of the other SEMS member schools might be Bocconi in Italy, Cornell in the US, Ivy in Canada, Keio in Japan. What that means in practice is that you can come to the LSE, you can do the first year of your Masters with us in the Management Department, and then you can go off on exchange to one of these universities and specialise perhaps in an area you really want to specialise. For example, some of our students are really interested in the luxury business, which is very strong with Bocconi in Italy and HEC in Paris, and they can go there and really explore that possibility. So we provide opportunities for students to collaborate with the faculty on research projects. So to give you two examples, I've recently collaborated with two of my fantastic students writing up a case study that's being published by LSE Press. So this case study came about because they were presenting a case in class that I'd asked them to come up with their own case study. And it was such a good analysis, I thought we could turn this into a case study. I knew LSE Press were about to publish this collection of case studies, and together I say we, honestly the work was mainly them, wrote up this case study that's now been published. To give you a second example, I've been working with a group of my colleagues on how we integrate AI into education, which is a tricky question. And again, we're working with students. They've come up with a survey, they've come up with a set of interview questions, and they're going to be running this survey with students and interviewing a selection of faculty. And together, I don't know quite what we're going to do with it, but together it'll go somewhere interesting. So we aim to teach students to apply their knowledge to multiple industries, multiple parts of the world. One of the ways we do that is through business projects. So all GMiM students have to do a project with a sponsoring client. So while LSE is justifiably proud of its kind of academic theoretical heritage, we are equally focused on how that applies in practice. So essentially these business projects are like a mini consultancy project. Students work with clients like Google, Cartier, Richemont, Colgate, the Space Agency, and some of the projects they come up with are absolutely amazing. I watched one project last week and the students presented a really innovative idea. They based this idea after doing an incredibly rigorous analysis of the marketplace, located, a kind of space in the marketplace, and then based on their kind of academic research in kind of marketing and behavioural science, they'd come up with an incredibly sophisticated product and social media marketing campaign. And honestly, I was blown away, and I know the client was too. One of the best bits of my job is when students share their success stories. So to give you one example, one of my ex-students recently sent me an email, and she had just been offered a job with the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development. She had not come from a traditional management background. I think her undergraduate degree was something like international relations, but she sent me such a lovely email, and she totally credited LSE with giving her both the kind of foundational skills and, I suppose, a foot in the door that enabled her to get this job. Personally, I have to say, it was also a lot to do with her. She was a really amazing student, but she certainly credited the LSE, the GMiM, the community with putting her in the position that she could get a job like that.